finally! Author Colleen Hoover, whose novel It Ends With Us was turned into the much talked about movie starring Justin Baldoni and novice film editor Blake Lively, is breaking her silence.
Blake Lively was just delivered a blow by the court several weeks ago that Lively's legal team sent out a bunch of subpoenas to cellular provider companies like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. Her attorneys, Ezra Hudson and Michael Gottlieb, said in a statement that was published in The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "Miss Lively has initiated discovery that will expose the people, tactics, and methods that have worked to destroy and bury her reputation and family over the past year. We will now receive all of the receipts that, unsurprisingly, are nowhere to be found on Mr. Friedman's website. And like Miss Lively, those receipts will have their day in court." That is a reference to Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, and the website that was reportedly launched by him and Baldoni's team, featuring an amended complaint in the case, their version of a timeline of events in the story. It featured never-before-seen text messages between Baldoni and Lively.
There's always friction that happens when you make a movie like this.
This ends with me. I'm done. I'm tired.
It comes down to the hard evidence, which in this case are going to be text messages, emails, and certainly witness testimony as to what really happened here.
Blake Lively, the beloved actress and fashion icon, is reportedly in shock after best-selling author Colleen Hoover made a stunning confession in court. That's right. Hoover, known for writing some of today's most captivating novels, has allegedly admitted to serious illegal activities. And the twist? These revelations could have a direct impact on Blake Lively's career and reputation.
This has been like an ongoing theory that like Ryan Reynolds is the guy that's behind all of this, because people feel that Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were secretly in love while filming this. And if you listen to some of like the voice text that he sent her, it seems like a very, like they had originally like a very intimate conversation, and like, you know, just their conversations
or it
were
was
just
him
very
speaking
like
at 2 a.m. Or that's just his voice at 2 a.m.
Right.
Yes, but fans are really reading into this, and they're like, you know, Ryan is so jealous of this relationship. He's trying to torpedo this. And look, at the end of the day, the scenes do kind of look alike. You know, the interaction, the camera angles, the dancing.
Colleen Hoover was friends with Justin Baldoni for years. He reached out to her, wooed her, expressed his love and admiration for her writing, and really sold her on the story that he wanted to tell as director before the plantation princess extorted him and took over all control of the movie. Submitted in the amended lawsuit against Taylor Swift's bestie are all these email communications between Baldoni and Hoover. And despite their long history together, Colleen Hoover repeatedly turned her back on Justin Baldoni, as well as publicly praising the wife of Scarlett Johansson's ex-husband. Even before the release of It Ends With Us, the author distanced herself from Baldoni. Instead of promoting the film with him, she joined the promo trail repeatedly with her. Only at the very beginning did she have an event with Justin Baldoni. But after that, right up until the film's release, it was all about Colleen and Blake, Colleen and Blake.
This scandal is shaking up Hollywood, with everyone from celebrities to fans talking about it. But what's the real story behind these allegations? Is Blake Lively actually caught up in this controversy? And why is Colleen Hoover choosing to speak out now?
She, last month, deleted her IG. She still kept her FB up, but the IG was gone. Until now. It's back, but a few things are very noticeably different for her on IG.
Get ready. This is a wild ride filled with drama, betrayal, and shocking courtroom revelations.
I lived under a rock because I hadn't heard of Colleen Hoover before they came to me with this movie, but you don't really see a lot of me in the character. And I think that more than any movie I've ever done, like Lily is such a ball buster. I am rotten to the core when it comes to that. Like I am very, like if I'm not busting your balls, then you should be worried. Then I'm mad at you. Then I don't love you. You know, and just the way that I sort of use humor and levity in moments of sadness or pain, because that's the prism through which I can cope and deflect. And I smile in sad moments because it's just like, it's just how I process things.
Let's start with a confession that turned Hollywood upside down. Colleen Hoover, the best-selling author known for her hit romance novels, took the stand in a high-profile court case and stunned everyone with her unexpected revelations.
Has supported publicly, repeatedly, the Z-list star. As recently as December, Colleen Hoover said of Blake Lively, "At Blake Lively, you have been nothing but honest, kind, supportive, and patient since the day we met. Thank you for being exactly the human that you are. Never change, never wilt." Turns out Colleen Hoover has had a change of heart. She's back on the IG. She had previously on the FB denied reports that she was retiring. Not true. She's also not gotten rid of any staff or team members. Colleen Hoover has gotten rid of the Woody Allen apologist. The It Ends With Us author is no longer following on IG Taylor Swift's former bestie. Additionally, as if that in and of itself did not sting enough, Colleen Hoover took it a step further and deleted all of her posts with the shampoo company owner. So, all the photos, everything together with Blake has been scrubbed from her IG.
Multiple sources report that Colleen Hoover confessed to being involved in financial mismanagement, ghostwriting scandals, and even insider trading, claims that shocked everyone. But here's the real bombshell. She allegedly named Blake Lively as one of the key figures who benefited from these secret deals. The courtroom fell silent as Hoover revealed how certain Hollywood elites may have used their influence to control industry trends, book deals, and even movie contracts.
Blake's legal team doubled down, calling the bombshell $400 million lawsuit another chapter in the abuser playbook. The strategy of attacking the woman is desperate, and it will fail.
It comes down to the hard evidence, which in this case are going to be text messages, emails, and certainly witness testimony as to what really happened here.
Among the dozens of receipts in Justin's suit, a text exchange in which Blake refers to herself as Game of Thrones Khaleesi, calling husband Ryan Reynolds and bestie Taylor, quote, "my dragons who protect those I fight for," adding, "we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you."
'Cause it loves me.
Blake also calls Ryan and Taylor dance moms level stage moms. This after Justin claims he was summoned to a meeting at Ryan and Blake's penthouse. Their mega celebrity friend walked in praising Blake's rewrite of this rooftop scene.
Yeah, I may have made that up.
Justin maintains this was an intimidation tactic. Two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities were not afraid to make things very difficult for him. Cut to film promotion more than a year later, and Blake telling press Ryan actually wrote the scene in question.
Everything I do is in lockstep with her. She just takes every step with me.
Another Colleen Hoover controversy was how she handled her son having sexual harassment allegations. Now, there isn't a lot of information about this out there, so I am merely presenting what I have found. In a tweet on February 12, 2022, which has since been deleted, a Twitter user added to a thread against Colleen Hoover saying her son also sexually harassed me and she blocked me when I spoke up about it to her. In a second tweet, she said, long story short, we were friends on Snapchat and shit. And like every day we would message because we're friends, right? And like this was when I was 16 and he was fully aware of how old I was. I always talked about the fact that I was still in school. This person also provided screenshots of her DMs to Colleen Hoover with a red receipt. Colleen didn't seem to have replied according to the screenshot. This person said they were 16 at the time, so Colleen Hoover's son would have been 21 years old. And so this Twitter thread caught the attention of Reddit and TikTok and it started going viral.
But why now? Why is Colleen suddenly speaking out? And is she even telling the truth? While some fans applaud her for exposing alleged corruption, others are skeptical, wondering if she has her own agenda. The biggest question remains, was Blake Lively truly involved, or is she just another victim in Hollywood's never-ending power struggles?
a theory right now amongst popular, podcasters is that
she fell for him.
Fell for Justin. He rejected her. I think this theory is a bit reductive. I think that this is just a woman's revenge because she was scorned, I think is wrong.
I don't know that it always has to be about, she fell in love with him. I think there could have been a world there though that she really clicked with him, she thought he wanted her to be this close collaborator. And then when that part was rejected, that was an ego sting. But also when it was clear that any sort of budding crush she had, or full crush, that there was no interest there either.
Right.
Then all of a sudden she's just taking so many ego hits.
Yeah. Maybe when you're Blake Lively, you're used to just men fawning over you.
Right.
Every man falling for you, especially when this guy's a little bit of a nobody. And to be rejected by this nobody director.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Blake Lively's reaction, because let's just say it was intense.
It's that much more devastating, and it shows that this could happen to anyone, and it does.
Insiders who were in the courtroom say Blake Lively went pale as Colleen's testimony was read aloud. Witnesses describe her as completely shocked, gripping her attorney's arm in disbelief. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. Some sources claim Blake stormed out of the courtroom in a rage, allegedly muttering, "This is insane. She's lying."
They were able to say no because this specific HR complaint was not filed against Justin Baldoni. It was filed against Jamie Heath, Baldoni's producer, and it wasn't a claim of harassment. So if this is what made her so uncomfortable on the set of It Ends With Us.
But that's not all. Reports say that shortly after the courtroom chaos, Blake had a heated phone call, rumored to be with her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Was she trying to do damage control? Or was she truly blindsided by the allegations?
And Brian Friedman knows how to fight back against a bully. Trust me. And he started telling everybody Justin Baldoni's side. He told us that Justin Baldoni denied those claims of sexual harassment and only tried to appease Blake Lively because she was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat. He had to bend over backwards just to get her to shut up and complete the film. He told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it. I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully. That Justin Baldoni, ultimately, by the time they got to the premiere, was mandated by Blake Lively to spend the night in the basement away from his co-stars and didn't even get to see the final cut of his own movie because Blake Lively insisted that she be the one to approve it until he watched it on the screen with his editors, who also hadn't seen it because her editors finished it up. That's the situation he says he was in. So it's a real he said, she said. Who's telling the truth? Is he some creep harasser who took a shot at somebody like Blake, jeopardizing his movie and his future career? Or is she just extremely high maintenance and someone who plays the victim when she doesn't get her way?
Whatever the case, fans are split. Some believe Blake is just a victim of Colleen's attempt to shift the blame, while others suspect there's more to the story than meets the eye.
Are you really worried you're going to get bullied? I mean, I think if people publicly support Blake Lively that were there, then there'll be a greater chance that Blake's believed. The reason she's not believed is it's all smoke and no fire. I really think that's what it comes down to. Baldoni's camp told TMZ Miss Lively, Mr. Reynolds, and their paid representatives initiated this campaign, which has severely impacted many private individuals' livelihoods and families. Since they've yet to show any evidence and continue to blame mothers for the online vitriol resulting from their own actions, they are now speaking on behalf of alleged third parties who have not come forward themselves.
Adding to the drama, Hollywood insiders report that Blake has been canceling appearances and avoiding the press. Now, a viral video from her latest talk show interview is making waves, showing her visibly irritated, snapping at the host, and cutting them off mid-question. The awkward moment left the audience stunned, with many speculating that the pressure is getting to her. Is she struggling to cope, or is there more to the story?
It's not just the women that have the clothes. I feel like the women get the conversation, but it's every detail with everybody.
Can you relate to the things they were saying about Hollywood? It's so easy to get seduced by the fame and the money and the glamour.
You see it all the time. That was one of my favorite things about the movie, were the subtle turns to their own transition into like the ego of showbiz that Kristen has in that scene with Steve Carell. And then with Bobby taking on the persona of a club owner, but still, like, these are things you do when you're an adult.
Yeah.
When you have to work, you have to, you play a part. You play at your life in a way that you find successful, or so it's a lot about choices.
But let's talk about Kirsty, the interviewer, because on numerous occasions it cuts to her and we're seeing some behaviors that weren't necessarily there before. There are certain moments where even that polite or social smile has completely faded and it's just blank expression. We're seeing those adapters or pacifiers now have skyrocketed. Whereas earlier it was a subtle thing like this, now we're seeing the individual hands kind of rubbing back and forth like this. And I can't give you a better example of an adapter or a pacifier. We have someone here who's talking with her hands earlier. We saw a little bit of this, but now we're definitely seeing this back and forth massaging gesture, which is self-soothing.
To truly grasp what's going on, we need to rewind and take a closer look at Blake and Colleen's history, because trust me, it's complicated.
Blake's Lily. So Lily's a beloved character. There's something very endearing about her carefree spirit, but also the difficulty that she's going through. What did you think Blake brought to that role?
Everything. Her talent is just immeasurable. I thought she did such a good job. I think my favorite thing is her humor. I feel like I didn't expect to laugh that much watching this film because it is so emotional, but she brought such levity to that character.